How's it going? How's everybody doing? Today is Thursday, August 21st. That means it is actually 3 days past the 51st anniversary of the release of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, my favorite horror film of all time. And Night of the Living Dead, which I have right here, is my second favorite horror film of all time. I kind of mentioned that a lot. But anyway, this is, I was going to go through what the fuck glasses am I wearing? Holy, I put on Tracy's glasses by mistake. They're right beside each other. They're in the bathroom. Anyway, I brought them both out, but okay, there, that's better. That was actually really funny. But anyway, yeah, today is Thursday, the 21st of August, 51st anniversary of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I did watch it on Monday, which was the 18th, and that was the actual anniversary day. But unfortunately, I kind of forgot that we there was some renovations done in here concerning the windows, and everything's just sort of in disarray right now. And the DVD player, which is covered in the dust from the renos, there is not plugged in. So I was like, oh crap! But luckily, it was playing on Tubi, so I was still able to watch it. And it had commercials, but still, I was able to watch it. And it's interesting watching it with commercials. It's kind of weird. I've never watched it with commercials before. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through. I have a few more Texas Chainsaw Massacre things from I think the last video. I did an unboxing video recently of uh, of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and of another Leatherface I bought, and it's pretty cool. But I don't know if you can tell, my eyes a little screwy right now. I got some kind of. I went to the doctor today, and the doctor said that looks like I scratched it or I did something, but it's got some drops for it, and it's all red, and it hurts like a motherfucker. Holy crap! It hurts just looking at the phone, and my eyes like adjusting, and it is extremely painful. So the things I do for the few people to do that do watch my videos. So yes, I love you this much that I'm willing to put myself into a lot of excruciating pain just just to do my unmonetized channel. But anyway, yeah, let's go through some of my stuff. I'm gonna go up on the shelf first, and some of this is gonna be done blindly because when I have to flip the camera around, I can't see the screen. So let's hope that everything's where it should. And I'm standing on a stool too. So right here, hopefully it's in the middle right here, this Leatherface right here. That was the first Leatherface I ever got. And I'm trying to see in the reflection if it's actually where it's supposed to be. I know there's King Kong, but anyway, I'm really hoping it's in the shot properly. But that's the first Leatherface I ever got. I got that. That's the McFarlane Movie Maniacs collection. See up there, hopefully. And I've had that for years, still in the package. Unfortunately, as a lot of things do, the package does start to yellow over time. As a few of my figures, like this Jason over here, it's starting to see it's yellowing. But as long as you can still see through it, I'm content with the bit of yellowing. And then this one here I bought recently. It's sort of behind Ozzy there. Let's see if you can see it. But I do have two of those, so I'll show the other one in a minute anyway. That's out of the package, but this is the Toonie Terrors version of Leatherface. And where's the camera? Oh, there it is. There's the lens, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's the Toonie Terrors version of Leatherface. The bloody Toonie Terrors. The bloody version of the Toonie Terrors Leatherface. That's what I'm trying to say. Holy crap! Why did that take so? Why was that so much work to get out? And then up here I got the Pretty Woman Leatherface, which is also it's also a NECA figure right there, and I can see the reflection that he's pretty much in frame, so that's a good thing. But I've had that one for a while. I can't even remember where I got it. But in terms of my Gunnar Hansen leather faces, that's it for up here. I do have Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 Leatherface, and then way over there on the end there's an Andrew Bernarski Leatherface. But I like the movie, not a fan of Andrew Bernarski himself, at least from things I've read about him. But hopefully, maybe they're just rumors and he's actually a nice guy. But who's to say? But anyway, that's as far as the leather faces on this shelf go. There is one that goes there, but I took that off so I can just show it. It'd be easier. And then over here, where I can actually kind of see, turn on the light. Hopefully that makes a difference. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, this is my sort of Leatherface shelf that I have. And so up here, this is my, I believe the company's called Kotobukaya. It's a Japanese company. Tracy got me that for my birthday last year. And it's one of my favorite items. It's easily the most expensive item. And yeah, we're doing the flashy, flashy. There's no like light here. I just turn this stupid thing off. It's wasting my time. Off, damn you. There, okay. So, didn't really make a whole difference. This one here is a Madball Leatherface. And the funny thing about this, there was another guy on YouTube showing off his Leatherface collection. And then that's when I realized I had to step up my game, first of all, because he had a lot of stuff I don't have, and I was super jealous. But he had this, and I never even knew this existed. And just by chance, I walked into a store called Collective in downtown Toronto on Spadina, um, just near Kensington Market. It's a Spadina and College area. And they had this on the shelf, and I asked if it was for sale. And like I said, I'd never seen it before, and it was just a couple days earlier I saw this guy showing his Madball Leatherface, and I just happened to see it by chance. And I'd never been in that store before. It was just random that I wandered in there as a curiosity. Yeah, so there was that. And then I got my Lego Leatherface. This is just one of the extra heads for the NECA stuff, and that's a saw that goes with one of the Leatherfaces, which is my newest one in the back there. If I'm able to see it, kind of doing this blindly, like I said. So, but that's the grandmother version of Leatherface, or the kitchen mom version, whatever you want to call her, the one that does, or call him, dressed as the grandmother. Um, but I had the option to go with the classic Leatherface, the killer Leatherface, but I wanted to go with that costume because all the other ones are the classic Leatherface. So I wanted to make it a little bit different. The only thing I did wrong, which I can change up anytime, I just haven't done yet, is I put the hammer in his left hand instead of his right hand, and opted for the hammer instead of the saw. First of all, you don't see him with the saw in that costume, or the hammer actually, but looked cool with the hammer. And that's the alternate head, one of the alternate heads that came with that figure. And that's one of the first Leatherfaces. The second Leatherface, I think I actually got a long time ago, which is an early NECA from probably about 10 years ago. Yeah, probably about 10 years ago, I think. I got that one. And it's pretty cool. Down here, I got my Funko Pop, whatever they're called, Leatherface. I'm not really a huge fan of them, even though I got a bunch of them now. And I almost didn't buy it. I went into the store, saw it, and I was like, And I went bike riding for a bit, and then I went back to the store. I was like, if I don't buy it, I'm going to be pissed off. And so that's where that one comes from. There's the other Toonie Terrors, the non-bloody version. You can see right there. And Toonie Terrors is something NECA put out. They're kind of like, so I'm trying to see if he's in the shot. I'm looking at this at a weird angle. But think about if these monsters and characters were on Scooby-Doo. And that's basically the way I think of them. And then there's a little plush Leatherface in the back there that I got at a Horrorama convention quite a few years ago. There's another version that's pretty much the same, except he's smiling, and I really like to track that one down. And did I miss any? I got this. There's a little Leatherface. There's a little button there you can put on your jacket or lapel or whatever. I got that at a store called. It's a coffee shop actually called Deadly Grounds. I don't know if it still exists. I've only been there the one time. It's in Bowmanville, which is a small town, not too far out of Toronto. And I got that there, as well as the pillow that's always in the background of my videos I do at home. Down here, there's like a little Leatherface or Chainsaw Massacre poster, which is actually the cover piece of the recent figure I just bought back here. That was the cover flap, and I've been keeping those, and I've been using them, like the Silence of the Lambs one here. Where are you? There, and then all the ones in the background are the cover flaps, and I've been using them as background pieces on the shelves to fill it out a little bit better. And I don't know if you can really see in the background, the red background there, it's got various pictures of Leatherface on it. That was actually inside the box of this Leatherface here, the big one. That was just like the art inside the box, and I thought it would look really cool in the background. That's why. That's where that comes from. And then I got Chainsaw Massacre lunchbox down here, which I've had for quite a while. I use it to store like old movie stubs and other movie related items, just to just as keepsakes. And then, of course, the poster which I had in the introduction. And then I got one of these panel pictures. And yes, I have all the panels. However, there's a little white cat whose namesake comes from Gunnar Hansen, who climbs up. Usually that shelf there is up against the wall, and he knocked them down. He didn't break them. They're in with all this chaos here, but he likes to knock things down, and so I'm trying to get them up more permanently, so they're not. So it's complete. First of all, it doesn't look ridiculous like that. But anyway, a few more items. I'm going to have a quick seat here. One of the things I got rid of years and years ago, and I've mentioned this before, I'm sure, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh, and I'm wearing my Texas Chainsaw Massacre shirt, but I've worn that many, many times. But in this back, usually I have it on a box or something, but you can kind of... Almost had an accident. Let's put this over here. We're still kind of crooked. We good? We're good. Well, good enough. But here's a treat. Something you never see me do is drink pop. And not because I do beer tasting videos and you always see me drinking beer. I just really don't like pop. But for some reason today I was in the mood for some pop. But anyway, the pillow that's usually in the background, with it's got the pretty woman mask on one side and the killing mask, or the killer mask, whatever you want to call it, the traditional mask, on the other. And this is something like I said, I got at Deadly Grounds. If you're ever in Bowmanville, look it up. See if that place is still there. It is a really cool place. Like, they sell stuff like this, but I think it's done separate than the actual coffee stuff. They got all kinds of statues, like from horror movie characters and things like that. I went there before I started doing YouTube videos. Otherwise, I would have just done a quick walkthrough. I'm sure they would have. I mean, I would have asked. I wouldn't just assume, but I'm sure they would have been kind of cool with it, and I would have been like, I would love to go there again just to see all the shit they had, because it was really cool, and hopefully buy some more stuff. But I'll move that off to the side. A couple smaller items here. There's a deck of cards, and did I say I started saying about things, something I got rid of, and then the phone fell over. Yeah, my VHS copy of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It wasn't like a classic one from the 70s or early 80s or anything like that. When VHS, when movies started getting put on home video, it was one from the 90s, and I mentioned what it was when I showed the DVDs real quick. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, and I had a really cool copy of Night of the Living Dead on VHS. That was a double disc or double cassette. Had the movie on one, and then all these extras and interviews on the other one. And I just wish I kept it, only because they're my two favorite horror films, and just to just to have them, in my collection. And I know somebody went to I think it was Goodwill that I got rid of them, sent them to Goodwill or Value Village, one of the two. Somebody was like, "Oh, no way!" Like, some horror fan saw that and was like, probably got a horror boner from it, because it's made me horror impotent ever since. Okay, not really, but is that even a thing? That's the guy who survives the horror films. But anyway, so I got these decks of cards here. Oh, one other thing I forgot to point out. I'll point it out real quick before I get too comfy. Is yeah, this. Hopefully you can see it. Hopefully I'm pointing the camera in the right direction. Is this right here. It's just one of those metal, kind of look like signs, poster on a Clockwork Orange one over here. But yeah, that was one other thing I got. But yeah, don't know how I missed that, because I was looking right at it too when I was recording. But anyway, yeah, so these decks of cards, they're just cards. That's what the backs look like, and then just a few scenes from there. The cards themselves, I think, are pretty much the same, but they're Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so of course I had to buy them. Then I got my reaction Leatherface. Excuse me. That I was really happy to get because I remember saying before I ever started buying any reaction figures, just because in my opinion they're ridiculously overpriced. But I said the only one I would ever pay for is Leatherface, and then about 15 in is about when I found this. So yeah, I'd already bought in quite a few when I did finally get this. Unfortunately, you can see that this is like they got the card, they got everything was separate, and they pieced it all together and sold it as one because the glue is very wonky in there, and that's not factory glue. So, and the fact that this piece was still in there, and that would be very rare if it was original, um, a reaction figure. But not that they're old figures or anything, and it's not a super old company. They're just imitating Kenner, and the figures are done the way the Kenner figures, Star Wars figures. The arms just move up and down, the legs just go back and forth. Not much articulation, but they're meant to be collectibles, as it says right here on the top. And I can't read that because I need better glasses, which are coming. Adult collectible, not a toy. That says it right there. Adult collectible, not a toy. And then here I got Chainsaw Confidential, which is the book Gunnar Hansen wrote about the making of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a really good book if you're a fan of the movie. I do recommend getting this book. And it's not written chronologically in the way the movie is filmed, but it's written chronologically as the film plays out when you watch it. So you can sort of visualize what it was like scene by scene, the way it would be playing on the if you're just watching it, as opposed to we film this part first and then he's talking about this scene and then talking about a different scene, and it's just all done in order. So it's really interesting to read it that way. But it does tell a lot. It is a good book. Has it's a fairly easy read, I guess. It's got some pictures in there and stuff. So anyway, there's a lunchbox I don't have yet. And then next after that is this board game I bought. There is another board game I want to get, which is what I thought this one was going to be, until I realized it's a different game, but which is cool. That means there's another one out there I can get. Texas Chainsaw Massacre board game. I'm embarrassed to say I've had it for 2 months yet, I've had it for 2 months so far, and I have yet to learn how to play it because I just really haven't had a lot of time to sit down and read it, which is sounds lazy, but it's just kind of true. I've just been really busy this summer, so. But it does say 1 to 4 players or 1 to 8 players or something like that. So that means there's a way I can just play it by myself too if Tracy isn't interested. So I need another drink in my pop. And then my copies of the movie. The VHS copy I have was literally the VHS version of this, which this DVD isn't really. It is just a generic DVD with a few. I think there's some commentaries on it, and not a whole lot. Sorry, just because this eye thing. It's really, if I try and focus on something, it hurts because your eye has to sort of change shape slightly, and it's like ow. So I'm trying my best not to do that. But anyway, yeah, this is the first DVD copy I've had. But it's very basic. It's just a few special features, interviews, the usual stuff. And then I got this one here, double disc, steelback version or steelbox version. And it's got a little bit more going on inside. It's got more extra features, more making of type stuff. What does the inside of this one look like? Yeah, just kind of the plain DVD. Let's see there. And of course you got Pam right there, the always beautiful Terry McMahon. Even screaming in pain and terror, she's still stunning. I don't know. How do some people pull that off? And then I got my 40th anniversary version. I would also love to get the copy of this. There's a version that comes out with the Black Maria truck. It has like an apron and a couple other goodies inside. Really hard to find at this point. And if you do find it, it's probably gonna cost me a lot, but I'm a sucker and I'll get it. I think. Oh man, my throat's getting so dry. Trying to get this out here, and it's kind of cool because the Leatherface slides in here, so you see him in the doorway, and then when you pull it out, it's the killing room in the background. So it's kind of an interesting, and it's got a lot of four different commentaries. It's got a lot going on in there, and inside it's got some shots of movie from the Sally just after jumping through the window at the end of the film, and Kirk first entering the house. And then inside you got your DVDs and Blu-rays. Sorry, two of them are Blu-ray, two of them are DVDs. So it's my only Blu-ray copy, but the one I tend to watch most is actually, a lot of times it's just this one. But however, on the closed captioning, you get the entire newscast, like the entire news story that when you hear from the beginning of the movie, all the dark stuff they're talking about, all the death and horrible things that I've just talked about in this opening newsreel. It's just playing in the background, and if you sit and listen, it's really creepy about just all this death and people dying and stuff. But it's said so casually. It's just a background track, and unless you actually pay attention to it, you wouldn't even notice it. And then years ago, I noticed. I go, "This is pretty dark," and then I had it on my original copy. Where did I put it? Yeah, the original copy. It did. I don't even know if this has closed captioning on it. I can't remember. That hurts. But and this one here didn't have it. It has closed captioning, but it didn't do the newscast, the news stories rather. but this one did. And also when I was watching on Tubi, I had it with the closed captioning on because I had the air conditioner on too, and it did all the newsreels too. So that was kind of cool. All the news story in the background. So that was pretty cool. So anyway, that's my Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 collection. Anyway, I do have a couple things from part 2 and a couple other films, remake, etc., etc. But this was all Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface stuff. And if you watched it all the way, thank you for watching. If you want to subscribe, help me get to 1,000 subs, that would also really be cool. And subscribe, like I just said. If you want to comment, tell me about the Leatherface stuff you have, or how you feel about how you feel about the movie itself. Whether you liked it, whether you think it's lame or dated or just plain out stupid, or you think it's one of the greatest films of all time. Let me know. Put it in the comments. I will get back to you. And thanks for watching. Bye.